Hey guys, Brandon Burns here, 1 Minute Millionaire. It's been a minute or two, not just 1 minute, it's been several, but we're back. And I thought we'd get 1 Minute Millionaire back up and running with a really special guest. We're here back in the studio at the Den in Creative Cube, South Melbourne. This guy has a business in South Melbourne as well as overseas, but we've managed to get him for 2 hours today, which is pretty cool. We've been filming some amazing stuff and we've got to know him and learn more about him. And I'm excited to share him with you. A lot of you will know him already if you spend a bit of time on LinkedIn, but I wanted to introduce founder of Scalerr, international founder, I think it's important to know, Colin Kleine. How are you?
Mate, international man of mystery. Going well, Brand Dog. How are you?
I'm good. Now, first question I want to ask you is, for those watching and listening, what have we actually been doing the last couple of hours? How would you describe it?
Oh, girls on film. Been doing a bit of recording, a bit of fun. No, it's been good. We've been going through questions that my audience, which are tech founders, tech startups, would find interesting. I guess so. No fluff, like this is practical advice, this is how you do it, this is what my experience has taught me, like just direct to the point, how to get that money when Lambo, just how to be successful in growing a startup. That's what we've been doing.
So how you say it is when Lambo, is that right?
Correct.
What does that mean? Getting a Lamborghini, I'm assuming, or?
Correct.
Correct, right.
Correct.
So, basically how to tick it off the vision board, yeah?
Correct.
All right, and some people might have different vehicles on there. Some might have a Tesla.
Or they might have a Mazda CR-5 or whatever it is, because you've got a 2-year-old and your wife's yelled at you, then you get a better car. So,
speaking of 2-year-olds, you just become a baby daddy.
I am.
Tell me about that.
So I'm bald. The hairs on my beard are graying, and my bank account empties out faster, and I'm a lot more sleep deprived. And I got dressed up as the Wiggle, as the Purple Wiggle 3 days ago. I know about 7 Wiggle songs off the top of my head. Subconsciously, when I'm walking to work, I just find myself listening to like Miss Rachel songs or kids songs. So I have gone absolutely loopy, but I'll tell you what, it has made me a better business person because number one, becoming a dad, I really, really appreciate what spouses need to go through, and I'm very, very grateful for what Steph does. Number two, the next pandemic, COVID-24, it's not going to come out of a wet market somewhere in Wuhan. It's going to come out of my kids' daycare center. Those places are just like ground zero for viruses. So you're getting sick all of the time. You need to stay home with the little man. And by virtue of that, my God, do you learn how to time manage? You really learn how to be hyper-focused in intervals. So I've gotten that. It does give you a lot more purpose in life as well. I went to just an absolute average government school, but it's like, no, I'm gonna get the absolutely best life for this little dude and all of that. So it gives you a lot of purpose in life, but it also actually makes you a better business person because you're a lot more relatable. You can connect a lot more with other parents because, which Wiggle have you dressed up as?
I've got girls, so we have Emma Wiggle in our house.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, my son didn't really go through the Wiggles stage, but I thought it was funny when you said before that you dressed up as the purple one, because that's Jeff who always, that was Jeff initially, who always fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I feel you, mate, on the sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
But it's just a phase to get through, isn't it? Once your day's going, it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm up now.
Yeah.
Make the most of it. But you certainly go to sleep earlier. I don't know if you find that, but I can fall asleep a lot quicker and a lot earlier.
Mate,
so I guess it's not a bad thing.
Honestly, mate, for me it's different because at the moment I'm in Australia, and sense where we're doing a lot of business, it's Southeast Asia and the UK. So I need to work till late, which again, you just learn the master of time management because I can't really be taking calls at home because then I'll wake up little dude. So I've done everything from going up to our top floor balcony and basically while doing calls, and other times I've woken up at 4 a.m. to drive to the office to do a work call with somebody over in America. So you definitely learn how to make it work being a dad with a growing business and ambitions and all of that. It's an experience on the hair follicles is the best way I could describe it.
Totally, I feel you.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you, tell me about what's pending for the business and where you're expanding and moving to. And then also in the same breath, talk to me about if you can remember back to when you very, very first started it as well. And if you thought it would maybe be where it's about to go, way back then?
Yeah, no, no chance in hell. Where we're going is, all right, let me tell you a story. So, and this will really explain the pivot, why I'm wearing this delectable t-shirt in front of you now. So we used to have a recruitment agency and we just specialized in technology companies.
Yep.
And then one day during lockdown, my business partner and I, walking within our 5-kilometer limit, having a chat before curfew and all that sort of fun stuff, we're walking around Albert Park and we asked ourselves a question that legitimately went on to change our lives. And that is, why do companies ask us for our help in helping them expand internationally? Because we're working with high growth tech companies from Israel, from America, from wherever it is, and they were seeking our help to find for them a managing director of Asia Pacific, a salesperson in Australia, a head of Hong Kong and North Asia. And we asked ourselves the question, why? What is it that they're specifically looking for? Why are we helping them? And then after 3 days of thinking about it, it's like, oh my God, valuation. The people that we're dealing with are the founders or the chief revenue officer. And their mandate is, from the companies that have invested in them, is we've given you this cash, now I need you to turn this 10 million valuation to a 100 million valuation. So they're asking for our help to help grow the valuation, because when a tech company gets traction in new international markets, it shows this is a globally scalable business model, so it grows the valuation of the company. From that realization, without exaggeration, it changed absolutely everything within the business. We, for 10 years, were helping companies to grow their valuation. We were delivering it through the model of recruitment. What else is it that a business needs to grow and scale? Because I will never regret my experience as a recruiter. I regret being an accountant once upon a time, but it taught me a lot. And then when we made the pivot, it's like, okay, well, what else is it that a company needs? Because you should only start looking at recruitment after a certain part. How do they get traction in a new market? How do they do their go-to market? How do we prove, validate, know that there's a genuine use case for what it is that we're doing? How can we de-risk this as much as possible for them? Because people are quite nervous about this. So ask better questions, get better answers. So then we started creating new divisions of the business. So we launched our management consulting function, which is mostly what I do. And that is, from my experience in working with 160 SaaS companies and seeing the ones that have been hyper successful, how they did it, what they did, who they hire, how they market, how they do their sales. Success leaves clues. You learn playbooks. Having worked, 38 of them ended up hitting unicorn status or a NASDAQ listing. And I've worked on something like over 50 CEO searches, managing director searches, general manager searches. And the brilliant thing about it is, when you're interviewing hyper successful people, kind of like I'm interviewing you, hey? When you're interviewing really successful people and you need to ask them the question of how did you do it? They give you an answer that others are prepared to pay millions of dollars to learn, which we're basically getting for free as a recruiter. So I had this incredible war chest of knowledge and playbooks, execution, how businesses have done it. So we made a pivot. I know how to actually execute a lean go-to-market strategy that actually makes money, saves cash. I'm an investor now myself, so I legitimately understand how the valuation of this business grows. I can make decisions that are angled, not in any self-serving interest or making a fee out of the person, but I can help to make business decisions that are all angled on how do I grow the valuation of this company and help them to achieve X, Y, and Z? How do I reverse engineer that? So we launched our management consulting arm, which has been absolutely fantastic, and I'm absolutely loving it, and it gives me a lot of joy, and I'm really happy with some just the cool stuff and results that I'm getting with clients that we're working with. And then we are also launching our own ventures arm. So it's called Scalerr Ventures, very original. And the reason for it, we ourselves as a company, we always talk about international expansion, growth. So we've expanded internationally. My business partner, hello Matt Borthwick, love you, shout out. He's moved over to the UK, so we've now got a growing team in the UK. Hot press announcement, hey, in probably like the worst kept secret in the world for anyone that knows me. I am moving to Singapore, and we actually also have an entity in Japan, and on the future horizon, we are looking at Amsterdam, Berlin, potentially Barcelona, but future tech hubs. We are shortly actually also going to have somebody on the ground in Israel. And the reason why we want to do that, because again, our entire model is around let's get you traction across multiple markets, because we know that that's going to grow the valuation. So if we also invest in this business and then we work our magic and use all of our contacts in region, in market, we can grow the valuation of these companies and then look, exit, sell on to a Sequoia Capital or whatever it is. So yeah, look, there's going to be 3 parts of the business. Venture capital, there's going to be management consulting, there's going to be recruitment. Currently, we've got 3 international markets, or 4 if you include Tokyo, and we're going global, baby. So yeah, we want to grow, scale, continue to kick goals, and no, it's been amazing, man. Like it's, yeah,
beautiful.
Sorry about the life story and the sales pitch, but no, it's been
No,
really
that's
cool.
good. I mean, what's coming to mind is you've had a curiosity mindset from day one, and through immersion with really successful and people who've gone there and done it before, you've picked up on so many things. Secondly, it feels like this move and what you're expanding into doing is only going to strengthen the value you can provide people here back in Australia, yeah?
Yeah.
As well as people in those new markets. But I would imagine, is this going to be really exciting for existing clients and people that get involved with Scalerr in Australia because of what they can tap into?
Yeah, I honestly can't wait for this. Last year, I went to Singapore FinTech Festival where I met some incredible people that work for the Australian government over in Singapore. Hello, Betty Son Lucas. Hello, Stephen Scully. Like,
Can I say hello to?
Yeah, amazing. I met some absolutely incredible people when I was over there from the Australian government. And one of the things that I pointed out, which didn't make me immediately popular with the people I was introducing myself to, is there is a massive gap here. Australia doesn't send anywhere near enough tech startups into Singapore, and Singapore doesn't send anywhere near enough tech startups in Australia. To which Austrade's like, who is this idiot? And then from building a relationship and I guess being able to demonstrate it, like Australian companies, when they think of expansion, they think of UK, they think of US. When Singaporean companies think of expansion, they think of the surrounding countries in Southeast Asia or something like a mainland China. It made no sense to me because Singapore has what Australia doesn't. It's a perfect fit. First of all, there are tons of similarities, all of that. In Australia, raising capital can sometimes be like ripping your teeth out. In Singapore, it's a major capital market, which is substantially easier to raise capital. Huge capital market. Australia has what Singapore doesn't have. We're 6 times bigger of a market. It's a fellow high net wealth, high GDP country, so they suit each other absolutely perfectly. So I am really looking forward to working with our allies from Victorian government, New South Wales government, Singaporean government, Australian federal government, and I guess just being there and having a strine on the ground there. I'm really looking forward to helping Australian tech startups to get their first customer, to get traction, to get their first channel partner, and pretty much helping them to grow, expand, get into Singapore, grow that valuation, and win Lambo.
I love it. I love it. So if you had to share with me one parting piece of, I wouldn't say advice, but maybe tip for, let's say someone watching who's just about to start their startup business. And maybe it's their first time or it's their second time around, but they didn't go so well the first. And they've told themselves, I really want to make sure I do things better and more clever and smart and, you know, think smarter second time around. What are some key things they could focus on first that you just know in your heart from watching all of them come through past your desk to really help them steel themselves for success?
Yep. Surround yourself with other successful people. End of interview. No, look, surround yourself with people that have been there and done that because, look, it's not that I'm a firm believer in this. I've seen this multiple times. You are the sum total of the 5 closest people that are like the 5 closest people to you. And when you are immersed with other successful entrepreneurs, other people that have been there and done that, and you learn from them, chances are you will become successful. And there's been many, many studies that have focused on this and right across the world. In fact, I wanted to actually share something that really benefited me. Last year, we joined a group called EO, so Entrepreneur Organization, and it's honestly been magical because we're pretty much now immersed with a whole bunch of other high-performing, successful entrepreneurs. We're in that environment. You learn a lot, man. And the other thing that I found is that entrepreneurs are very happy to help one another. Like, in fact, some of the most helpful people on the planet. I remember when I was going over to Singapore, I reached out to EO Singapore and I ended up meeting the president of EO Singapore. And then I got introduced to a whole bunch of other people, and they were just so generous with their time because they've been through this before and they're more than happy to experience share. So you just plug into a network that is your tribe, that knows what it is that you're going through, that have been through certain parts of it, that can give you that kind of advice. So being immersed in that, I think, has been an absolute game changer for our business. And it's something that I recommend that for a founder looking at starting off, get around other entrepreneurs, go into Stone and Chalk, join EO, get into Cub, get a friendship circle or a circle of influencers who's already immersed into it so that you get to take those learnings because it's only going to make you grow. That's what I recommend.
Love it. Well, by the time this episode drops, you may still be in the country or you may be on your way to Singapore, but please don't leave it too long between coming back and saying hi because we're going to miss you. But for now, thanks for being on our show, Colin Kleine, and we're so excited for the next step in your journey.
Thank you, Brand Dog. Thank you so much.
Woo!
My man.